Hi everyone. I wanted to give a quick update video and say goodbye for the semester. So I often think about how every semester is a little bit different from all the others. And after thinking about this one for a little bit and throughout the semester, I would say that this semester has had probably the most consistent cohort of students that I've had in maybe any semester. Um, I'd say the vast majority of you have really taken to the work and taken to the course and completed work pretty soundly and pretty consistently with pretty minimal issue. So I applaud you guys for that and hope that your future academic endeavors will continue with the same vigor and that you end up wherever you want to be. So it's been a really great pleasure doing that with you guys this semester. Now, for the next couple of weeks, there's a couple important things. You only have 2 assignments left. So you have your partner critique, which is due depending on when you turned in your paper. So if you please see the announcements for that, it's thoroughly explained. So the last 2 announcements thoroughly explained the deadlines for the partner critique, and you have your final draft. So please make sure you go over the feedback that I gave you from your first draft and use your partner's feedback too, of course. If you cannot see your feedback for any reason from me on Blackboard, please let me know. I gave a lot of feedback to everybody, tried to, and if you can't see it for some reason, please let me know. There should be feedback on your rubric, and there should be feedback in your paper that I attached to your grade. So you should have 2 sources of feedback from me and then your partner critique, which you guys do an awesome job at, by the way. So how do I grade the final drafts? Well, it is pretty simple. I'm going to pull up your first draft and then compare it to your final draft. And it is really easy to tell whether you've made changes or not. So I do tell students that you are not guaranteed the same grade that you got on your first draft. So if you got like a 95 or above, and then there's probably not a whole lot to change, and some of you did. So if you got a really high A, then there's probably not a whole lot to change, and that's fine. You probably don't have to do too much, and you'll probably end up with the same grade. But if you got like a 83 or an 87, and I get the same exact paper that you submitted to me for your first draft, you're probably going to get a lower grade. The purpose of the final draft is to try to develop your writing. So just because you already have the whole paper done, which is awesome, it doesn't mean that it's just, you can just resubmit it and expect 85 more points. I do like to see that students put in some effort to rework their paper. I will go through it again, so it's not like I'm just looking for changes that I asked you to make. So I will go through them again. So if you made other changes or changed some other things, I'll notice those things too. But I will. I literally pull up the 2 papers beside one another, and I look for improvement, and I look for what you did for your final draft and how you responded to the suggestions or the challenges, and how you worked through that. That's the only way that we get better at writing. The only way. The only way that you get better at writing or researching or APA writing or any of that stuff is to rework your drafts again and again and again. I think I said in my first video of the semester, my most valuable learning experience when I was in college was my first year in college. I had a professor that made me rewrite a paper 6 or 7 times to get the grade that I wanted, and I did, and I learned a lot from that process. So. But every time he was looking for how did I improve this? What did I do? So I do think that's really valuable. So that's how I grade the final draft. We went over the partner critique, so we're good with that. The final draft is due on May 6th. Same guidelines for any other assignment. If you haven't used your extension, you can use it for the final draft. Just please note that you won't get that long of an extension because the semester is over very shortly after that. So I don't know exactly what it would be at this point, but it would probably only be a few days to a handful of days at the very most. So as always, guys, feel free to email me any questions, If you want to set up a phone appointment and talk about something too, we certainly can. Again, I've really enjoyed this semester. I hope you guys have gotten something out of it too. Maybe you got a lot out of it. Maybe you learned even just a couple of things. Maybe it sharpened some skills somehow. I hope that's the case. So have a fantastic summer. I hope that you enjoy the weather and maybe even get a little bit of relaxation, maybe.